Hello everyone, welcome to a new series of Matlab tutorials. This series is aimed at learning Matlab by a step-by-step approach. In this series, I will make short videos, approximately 5 to 10 minutes, so that you can start with Matlab and follow them total beginner's level, and we will increase the difficulty and the level will go up step by step, and we will try to explore most of the common functionality in Matlab, and we will also develop, we will use Matlab, we will learn about the introduction to Matlab, what is Matlab, and try to get familiarized with the Matlab environment. In the next videos, we will try to work and use Matlab for creating something very useful and starting scripting, using functions, and plotting the results and doing the data analysis. Okay, so let's get started. As from the preamble, you might have already guessed it that Matlab is basically a kind of a data analysis tool. In fact, Matlab is very popular in academics and research organizations. It is created by mathworks.com incorporated, so you can go and download and buy the license if you're a student. Most probably your college, university, or academic institution already have licenses because it's very widely used actually. If you don't have, you can actually purchase a student license from Mathworks, which is quite cheap as compared to the professional ones. However, let's focus what is Matlab. Okay, so what's Matlab? Matlab is basically, as the acronym stands for, matrix laboratory. So it gives you some intuitions that basically it is aimed at working with matrices, and most importantly, working with numerical data in the form of matrices and vectors, because then you will see that you perhaps already know that vectors are special forms of matrices like row vectors, column vectors. So we will see that and we will use them. But first we need to define where we can use it. We can use Matlab for data analysis, we can use for visualization, plotting, simulation, developing code, debugging code, and many more. So it even has you can say capability for like doing symbolic mathematics, and it has a graphical programming style for simulations called Simulink also, but that's a different thing, but it is built on Matlab and it requires Matlab to run on, so that's called Simulink. We will in the end, after we have done, we will look some into the simulation and Simulink also. That's actually my favorite part. I perhaps may do a separate series on Simulink altogether. Okay, so let's start with looking into Matlab and then start explaining. Okay, so here whatever you're seeing is Matlab. Okay, I would actually make it full screen so you just see Matlab, and perhaps you saw it already. I'm working on Mac, but it is available for Windows and Linux also, so it doesn't matter whatever the platform you use, you have the same environment. There are some subtle differences, but we will not go into them right now, at least. Okay, so right now the highlighted window in the center, this big window with the cursor blinking, is something like a DOS prompt, or you can say terminal in Linux or Mac, and this is called command window. This is where you normally enter the commands and they get executed. So as soon as you enter some command, it will get executed. That's why it's like a interpreter language. For example, as you can say calculator, for example, I enter 12, and if I enter, we see that we say that it is the answer ans is equal to 12, and we see here exactly on the right, it's called, this window which is highlighted now is called workspace. So it has this variable ans with 12 because we did not define a variable. So Matlab by default stores this answer value, the value which we enter automatically in a variable called ans. So, and it says that it has value 12, max and min are also 12 because it's just scalar value, so it has only one value, and the class is double. So if you know that there are many different types, data types, so this is just one of them, and this is the default is double. We can have different data types, but we will go into later. Okay, so as also if I go here, you see this is called command history. So as the name indicates, it's basically keep the history of all the commands. So the data variable is defined, goes here. So variable you will see are here, and you will see that the command history is shown here. Okay, but since I said we can define variables, so it's very easy. You want to use, for example, you want to use a, and we say that a is 12. Okay, and then I press enter. So if you go into the workspace again, you see that there has been a has been defined, and it has a value of 12. Okay, so we use like b, for example, 23. Okay, I'll use something, I will use semicolon. But so you saw that as soon as I press enter, we didn't see any display. But last time when I defined a, there was a display. The difference is that I used the suppressor or the semicolon. Semicolon acts as a suppressor, it suppresses the display. So the display, the call to the display function has not been made for this variable of class double. Okay, simply put, the display would be, so you will not see the display. It's quite convenient when you are working with very large arrays, because you don't want to see whatever you have entered, so you just want to suppress the display and get the command very quickly. And many times if it's very large data, actually if you do not suppress the display, it can take actually a long time before you get before the command prompt is available. But if you suppress the display, the cursor would be immediately available as soon as you press enter. Okay, so now let's go to the right. Okay, what is right on the right? Okay, so you see that on the right we have current folder. This is where we have actually all of the files we have defined. So I have actually created quite a lot of files already. Not a lot, but quite few actually. So these files are in the default path of the Matlab. So when you install Matlab, it creates a folder Matlab, and it's like like a default work directory. So and on a Mac normally it creates in documents and then Matlab. So user, whatever is the name, like here, and then you have document, and then you have Matlab. So it works like that. Okay, so that's how it is. Okay, and whenever you will create click some functions, you see that when I say Fahrenheit to Celsius, is you can actually understand that basically this function converts the temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So if you have a Fahrenheit value, you can convert it into Celsius. So here is the value for that. Okay, converts the temperature in Fahrenheit to Celsius. So there is a small description. So this area is called details. So if you have a function or a class file or anything which has a little bit of description described in its definition, then you will see that description here. So it's quite good actually to have make this description, and you will see when we will start doing scripting. Okay, so before of course we going to scripting, we will do some more advanced mathematics here on Matlab, and also we will do some plotting and visualization, and after that we will jump into the scripting part, which is the real part, I would say. That's the serious part where your serious programming begins, but it's very important to get a little bit of feel of the environment and everything before that. Okay, so before we go finish, we also want to see the top part. This is the tool strip call. Here all you have, all the things you have are defined as tools. Okay, but tools are arranged into tabs. Okay, so for example, you click these tabs, so you have plots, apps, and home. Home has the basic functionality where you can create a new script. Okay, you can create something new, like open a new file or open an older existing file. Okay, then you can import data. We will also see how we can import data. There are quite a lot of ways to import data into Matlab, and that's one of the most important thing, because it's a numerical data analysis tool, so you should be able to import the data into Matlab. Okay, then we have save workspace, so you can actually save all the variables which you have defined, and there is a particular file format called mat. We will see how it works. You can create a variable from here, new variable. I never used it because I mean the way we create here is more useful, but you should also be able to use if you want. Then there are analyze code and many things. So there is layout. Okay, so the layout we are using is the default layout. So if you, for example, lose or change or anything, you can always go to layout on the home tab and then click the default, so everything will be in place. But you can change, you can create and save your own layouts also. So it depends. And there are preferences. Okay, so preferences control all kind of the characteristics of the environment of the Matlab. You have actually pretty much quite a lot of variables you can change and to customize according to your needs. Right now I don't feel it, but we will go through these from time to time, or maybe if requested, I can make a separate video for this. Okay, so we just press OK. So I think that's enough for this video, and in the next video we will see we will start working a little bit more seriously on the command prompt or the command in the command window, and we will make some visualization and plots. So until then, see you. And if you like my channel, and so please subscribe to it.